was in early March that Mr. Khalil is detained, and then a few weeks ago you get a notice saying your citizenship interview has been scheduled. Did that set off any alarm bells?
It was a moment of like, should I be happy or should I be cautious when I received the notice? And I sensed that this might be a trap. And for sure, indeed, it was an alarm bell.
So walk me through April 14th. You show up for what you think might be your interview. Was there any part of you that was still hopeful that that's exactly what that appointment was?
There was a percentage of hope, you know, there was a percentage of hope saying that, you know, there might be people in this system who actually see that what I am protesting is the war. What I am advocating for is peace. What I am advocating for is a reasonable thing any human being who see the pain and who feel the pain would advocate for and would stand against, which is war. And I had that, you know, a little bit of hope, but it was not overwhelming hope.
When did you realize that what you were showing up for was not your interview? In fact, it was your detainment.
There were different signals. So the first signal is when we entered the USCIS office and I saw the officer who was about to interview me standing at the door looking towards the main entrance at his office door, half of his body out and the other half is behind the frame and looking my direction. The second one is shortly after we sat in the lobby, it was myself, my lawyer, and another friend. Suddenly, you know, all nobody is left in the lobby except us. So, so I looked at my friend and my lawyer, and I said to them, "The calm before the storm." And the last signal was when the officer, after he interviewed me and made me sign that I'm willing to take the Pledge of Allegiance, the oath, said, give me a couple minutes to check in the back office. And that's when basically the agents entered the office.
What was that like to see these masked agents come in and then just try to apprehend you while you're in the lobby?
I mean, we've seen them before, as you mentioned. Um, we've seen them showing up and intimidating the students. We've seen how surprising it was, how harsh it was. So many people were intimidated by that, and I have made my mind, I'm not going to be intimidated by this. So seeing them, I knew that, you know, what I expected is taking place right now, and I have to stay in positive and clear mentality.
What did they tell you when you asked them why you were being detained?
In fact, they did not give me much room or space to ask them questions. The first thing they've done is they isolated me from my lawyer, separated me from my lawyer. They did not show up or show us any paperwork that they had on them. And directly, they decided to put the handcuffs on me. I told them I am a peaceful man and I will collaborate. The challenging emotions were actually what I prepared for before, because I was coming into this interview and thinking and anticipating that I'm going to be facing yin and yang, cold and hot, freedom or no freedom, having rights or no rights. Also, I felt that moment too when the agent asked me to sign the Pledge of Allegiance, or asked me to sign a document saying that I am willing to take the Pledge of Allegiance. I had that moment, that very like strong feeling. Oh my God, things are working out. And then they come into the office, and you can imagine the feeling between I am being excited to receive the citizenship and the feeling of like betrayal, disappointment.
And since you've been in detention, some of the most powerful people in this country have labeled you an anti-Semite. They have accused you of threatening violence against the Jewish community in 2015. What do you say to those people who say that your deportation and the deportation of Rumeysa Ozturk and Mahmoud Khalil are warranted?
I would ask them to ask themselves if they support war or peace. And I would ask them to ask themselves if their accusations are coming out of love or out of fear. And I would ask them to look at the full picture and to know that I have been consistent in my advocacy. I am a person, I describe myself, and I believe in nonviolence. I am a person who empathizes with others. I am a person who is advocating for peace and anti-war. I am a person who has many partners, and you have seen Jews and Israelis, especially, who spoken up for me and who have written op-eds in support of me and who has testified for the work that I've been doing. So for them to accuse me of this is not going to work, because I am a person who actually has condemned anti-Semitism. And I believe that the fight against anti-Semitism and the fight to free Palestine go hand in hand, because as Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.